con tu host Miriam Arteaga. Entrevistas, tips y más. Comenzamos. Welcome everybody here one more week in Ayearst, Canada. And this is the time of the month that I'm very happy because I have a very nice guest. And we have also a beautiful guest also here today. We have a Tania Boja for the Healthy Beginning program from the Stop Community Center. And always she brings somebody with her to talk about the services that the Healthy Beginning program gives to those that are pregnant or just have the baby in those months. Tania, welcome to the program.
Hi, Miriam. How are you? Hello, everybody. So happy to be here again with you and sharing once more this opportunity to chat and to learn together. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Tania. And we also have Julia. And I'm going to ask you, Tania, to do the honors to present her.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you. I like to introduce to you Julia Ayearst. She is a certified yoga therapist, and she is a wonderful volunteer at the Healthy Beginnings program at the Stop Community Food Center. Julia has been teaching the moms yoga for pretty much the whole year already, and it's been great. We have discovered that the moms really like having that special time a month with Julia, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about it. And but thank you, Julia. Thank you for your wonderful offering, for all the energy and the beautiful things that you bring to the program. It's been great. Thank you so much for being so generous and so loving, and welcome to the program today.
Thank you, Tania, and it's been a pleasure to meet you, Miriam. I'm very excited to be here today to talk about Healthy Beginnings and yoga and Wellness Wednesdays at the Healthy Beginnings program. I'm very passionate about the Stop, and I'm very passionate about, postpartum support and perinatal support, and I'm very passionate about yoga. And it's been a true privilege to be working with this community, and so I'm very excited to talk about it.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you so much. And let me tell you right now that we are online connecting, but I can feel that energy, that calm that you give us just from the screen. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's something that I'm not sure if all yoga instructors or teachers give, but I can feel it from you. And for the people that are listening to us or watching us and they don't know what is a yoga therapist, can you let us know what is a yoga therapist?
Yeah, absolutely. Yoga therapy really comes close to a very traditional experience of yoga. When we think of yoga here in our culture, we tend to picture a studio, a group setting, maybe it's a hot space, there's music playing, and you're moving kind of in like cardio aerobic stretching. And maybe there's a little bit of lying in Shavasana at the end, but it's predominantly a movement-based and physical exercise class. And absolutely, yoga has incredible tools to help people, develop flexibility and strength training to create healthy bodies. But it's also, an ancient cultural practice and spiritual practice. So certainly thousands of years can't be just to get us into a group class doing cardio aerobics or stretching. There's got to be something more there. And so yoga therapy really sort of honors the roots of yoga and the potential that yoga has to offer healing for the individual, which in turn always makes us better members of communities. So there's a lot of potential there for wellness at a very fundamental level. And practically what that means is when I'm working one-on-one with somebody, it's not too dissimilar from going to see another healthcare practitioner, somebody who's working holistically. So, there's intake and assessment where we might have a bit of a discussion talking about what the needs are, any sort of chronic concerns, or if there's an acute injury. And we do that. There's observation. And then from there, I tailor a yoga practice that I give to the individual to do every single day in their home. Because the other key component of this is that our aches, our pains, our challenges, they accumulate day after day, right? These are things, there's a drip effect where these things build up every day, and yoga therapy works by pulling the individual back towards balance on a daily basis. So as a yoga therapist, it's mostly one-on-one work, but that said, there's still amazing potential to work in communities as well. And so I'm very passionate as much as possible about trying to, find people who are going through a shared experience and targeting therapeutic practices for them. And so the perinatal program at the stop is a great example of that, where of course, every single person is unique and has unique challenges and unique abilities, but there is this shared experience of being, expecting a baby or being newly postpartum. And so that's our sort of common ground. And I teach a group class, but very much from a therapeutic lens, using the tools of yoga to address specific concerns or needs.
I like what you said, that bring us to balance, because in this world that we are living, I think balance sometimes is lost in the daily basis. So we need to find that. And if you are curious, just go and check Julia in wherever she is. At the end, just let us know where they can find you. And Tania, how you become with this idea to share with pregnant people and postpartum moms to bring yoga today, that movement? Where this idea come from?
Really, it came from Julia. Julia approached me last year, and she was offering her expertise and all of that she does as a volunteer at Healthy Beginnings. And myself, I'm a holistic health practitioner, so I do understand the value of integration in terms of health. So it's important to really take care of not only the body, but also the mind, the emotions, the spirit, especially when we're pregnant. So I thought, this sounds really, really interesting. So we further talked about it. At the beginning, we thought it could be something, maybe like a short course, a few sessions, and then we realized that it was actually working really well for the group, and Julia said, well, let's keep going, and we have been going for almost the whole year, almost 2023, the whole 2023, and it's been great. It's been amazing. I think thank you, Julia, for approaching and reaching out and offering your wonderful knowledge and your, as Miriam said, your vibe, your calm vibe to the moms. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about what Wellness Wednesdays are, which is something really interesting. It has, has evolved from a yoga class to something that's really, really interesting. That was the how this whole yoga thing was originated at Healthy Beginnings.
And I love it. I love that Julia brought this to you and you said yes, and the moms got all hands on, or all mats on, we can say. How yoga works for moms, Julia? How you do it? Because they have a small belly at the beginning, at the end they have a big belly with a baby inside their development, and how that help them?
Yeah, I mean, yoga, I'm going to just be the therapist here and say yoga is good for everybody. Everybody can benefit from a yoga practice. So certainly there are specific needs for people who are pregnant or new parents, absolutely. And when you're teaching in a group setting, modification is key, right? So offering lots of options. Certainly there are some times where we might be doing a posture, and I will advise, if we're coming into Uttanasana, a forward fold, we'll modify with a chair. So somebody with a big belly is going to be folding just to the chair, not all the way down. And so we certainly modify throughout the practice for different needs. Now, there are so many, socio-emotional and physical benefits to yoga for everyone, specifically for new parents or people who are expecting for the first time. I believe that, the main thing is addressing fatigue, stress, and overwhelm. Certainly there are the physical aches and pains, whether you've got a belly on the front that's pulling you down and all this extra weight that you're carrying around, or if it's because you're now nursing or bouncing a crying baby or sleeping in awkward positions because there's a baby in bed with you at night, and you're up at all hours of the day. There's lots of physical aches and pains. So we always deal with those as well, and we try our best to address them. And something that's been working really well is shifting towards sort of theme-based practices with the parents at the Healthy Beginnings program. So doing something for neck and shoulder pain, where we focus a lot on opening, relaxing, stress, and stretching this area, or low back pain. So always addressing physical concerns. But what happens is when you move mindfully through a yoga practice, you are deeply engaging the breath. And the breath is this sort of magical link between physical and psychological. And what happens is when you start to engage with deep breathing, you slow down heart rate, you lower blood pressure, you can tap into real nervous system resources, this parasympathetic nervous response that tells the body it's safe, that tells the body that it can rest, that tells the body it can heal. And new parents are sort of walking around in a constant state of hypervigilance, right? And sleep deprivation is part of the reason, but certainly for members who are accessing Healthy Beginnings, like financial scarcity is a real thing. And a lot of these people are newcomers to the country, a lack of community, that's a real thing. And so they're walking around all day sort of feeling somewhat like, they might not self-identify this way, but like feeling under threat, right? There's a certain level of stress that is constantly around. And so the real power, I believe, of these brief practices that we do is it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't even actually take that much physical movement. You need your breath, and everybody has access to their breath. And so by creating a space where people are breathing and moving synchronized body and breath, you can really have profound impacts on the psychology and stress, strain, and fatigue. So it's a lot of the like physiological and psychological benefits that I am most excited about when it comes to working with this population in the Healthy Beginnings program.
I love that, because I imagine the moms doing yoga there with the belly growing and learning how to breathe. And I think when they learn to breathe before the pregnancy, when they are in labor, it's much better for them also. I imagine that. So I didn't met you before. Tania, what moms are saying to you when they are going through all of this and the yoga, and they go to labor and they come back to you and they still doing yoga, and you are doing this also with nutrition in Healthy Wednesday? How moms are approaching to you? What are their experience?
When you ask me what are they saying, they ask, could I do yoga with my baby? When I'm so young, and I'm like, yes, you can do yoga with your baby. And Julia is so welcoming, and it's just so amazing to see, joining the circle, see the moms joining the circle with their beautiful little babies doing the yoga. It's just amazing. It's an amazing experience to see, and I could see, their amazement as well when they are able to be part of the circle with even when they're accompanied by the little one. At the beginning, well, they're by themselves, they're pregnant, they doing the movements on their own, but then they are really happy to be able to continue to join the circle once they have their baby in their arms. And what I've seen is a lot of contentment. I see the moms are happy. I see the moms feel really excited. And at the beginning, remember, Julia, I was a little, kind of building, that circle, the flow of the circle, a little hard, because it was kind of a very casual session. They will choose to join either in the circle or outside the circle. It was kind of their call. And it's been really nice to see how little by little the circle is growing, and more moms go and approach the space, and they choose to participate. So yeah, that's what I've seen, and that's why Julia and Stephanie, which who is the dietitian for Healthy Beginnings, they have created this initiative that's called Wellness Wednesdays, and they have approached the moms with this combination of yoga and nutrition, and we see that is working really well.
I love it. Julia, we talk about how they can do yoga before they give a birth, when they are pregnant. How yoga help them to recover them after the labor, after they have their baby. How yoga helps them to do, these moms that are doing yoga with you in the Healthy Beginning program?
Yeah, I mean, the Healthy Beginnings program, it's once a month, right? It's sort of a drop in a bucket. So these sessions really are about addressing broad themes that are shared amongst both pregnant people and postpartum. Certainly, the yoga therapy does have the potential to really help people in the postpartum period deal with acute concerns that arose out of either pregnancy or delivery. So for instance, I've worked with women who were really struggling with incontinence after delivery, or diastasis recti, which is the separation of the abdominal walls, which is naturally occurring in pregnancy to make room for the growing belly. But for some, it doesn't come back, it doesn't heal. And so yoga can really help with those kinds of concerns. But as I was saying before, I think mostly it's about addressing fatigue, the effects of sleep deprivation, this sort of constant need to be on, and doing it in such a way that that draws in the participants at the Healthy Beginnings program in a way that they have control over, I think is really important. And Tania is absolutely right. At the beginning, it was a bit of a challenge to get participants to opt in, because they're not necessarily there for yoga. They're there to take part in the Healthy Beginnings program, get their food baskets, have a beautiful lunch, connect with some people in the community, and then who's this person that's going to come and force them to participate? And, yoga, as I said earlier, much more than a physical practice. The very first teachings in yoga are about ethics. And the very first one, ahimsa, often translated, nonviolence, but it also means non-coercion. And so I'm not interested in going into a space and forcing people to basically under duress participate in this yoga class. So finding a way to navigate through that, honoring that people aren't necessarily there for yoga. Okay, but how can I still get 15 minutes of their time and just show them 4 or 5 things that will actually be of use to them? Because once again, I think if you are trying to teach the yoga class that gets taught in a yoga studio, it's not going to work, because the space isn't set up for that, the lighting isn't set up for that, the sound doesn't work for that, the mats aren't set up for that. It's just, it doesn't work. And so there was a bit of a learning curve, I think, to try and find the way that I could actually earn the right to their time and their attention, which is valuable, and I don't think is necessarily owed to me just because I show up. And so instead, it's how can we actually be useful to these people and what really helped shift it was when Stephanie and I started talking together, because she was essentially expressing the exact same question, which is, you know, what bite-sized information can I impart onto these people that then when they leave, they feel empowered to make healthier decisions in their life and not just overwhelmed with, you know, overhauling their pantry and totally changing the way that they eat. Same thing with the yoga. It's like nobody needs an hour-long class. What they need is, this is the 5 things you're going to do so that you sleep better tonight. And so we really dialed in on just being useful to them. And, you know, from now on, we're always doing handouts where I draw these stick figures that, you know, show the movements. And so it's like, you like what we did in class today? Here you go. You can go and do it at home, you know, because again, it's once you do it every single day that you're really going to start to see that benefit. And that doesn't mean finding childcare, driving or taking transit to a studio, spending $25 to $30 to go to a group class, driving home and paying for that childcare. It's like your kid goes down for a nap, lie down. Your kid goes down for a nap, lie down, do these 5 things. You'll be done in 10 minutes. You'll still have time to do the dishes or the laundry or nap, whatever it is you need to do. But we really need to move yoga into people's daily lives. We have to make it make sense for them in their daily lives if we want to actually affect change for the individual and then ideally for the community as a whole.
I in love with everything that you are saying. So please, people, let's go and check where is Julie or take yoga. Just start breathing at your own. Connect with your breath is so important. Tania, if somebody's listening to us and say, oh, I want to go to Julia Healthy Wednesday or Wednesday Wellness, how can they go to this? Not only to the Healthy Wednesday, the Wellness Wednesday, to all the program of the Healthy Beginning. Sorry, I mixed up the name.
No worries. If they want to meet Julia and be part of Wellness Wednesdays, they have to be registered at Healthy Beginnings. They have to be participants at Healthy Beginnings, and this is very easy to do. If someone is pregnant, is facing some food insecurity, they need support. The Stop Community Food Center is here to provide this support through our Healthy Beginnings program. We operate on Wednesdays from 10 to 12:45, and we provide our participants with food hamper, which is fresh produce, dairy products, and some other kinds of basic items. We also provide them with a beautiful cooked and nutritious lunch with some information. Every week we have different workshops. We have referrals and different services that can be referred to as well. And they need to send me an email to book an appointment. Registration is by appointment. So they can reach me at Tania, Tania, at thestop.org, and that's how it sounds, thestop.org, and send me an email. We'll provide you with an appointment, and you'll be able to register for Healthy Beginnings, and that way you can meet Julia and be part of Wellness Wednesdays as well.
So you listen to Tania, and if you are pregnant, expecting, or know someone that is in this process, please send this video to them. They can listen and they can be part of the Healthy Beginning program. Julia, if somebody is listening to us and they are not pregnant as me, how can we reach you? If we want to live everything that you are saying and connect with those wonderful words, where can I reach you?
So the best way to find me would be through my website, which is just my full name, Julia Ayearst. So that's spelled AYEARST.com. And on there, you'll be able to see all the places that I teach. So part of that is doing, private sessions, one-on-one out of a clinic in the West End. But it's really important to me to try to teach as much as possible classes that are coming at no cost or low cost to the individuals that are taking part in them. So there are a variety of institutions that I also am working at. The stop is one of them. And I'll be starting to teach classes with the City of Toronto in October. So there's lots of places. And I also do teach a class every Tuesday online that is pay what you like. So there's also the opportunity to study with me virtually if, getting out to one of the classes that I teach around the city is an option.
I love that, guys. So we don't have any excuse to join Julia in one of her classes. We don't have excuse to don't learn about yoga and connect with her, and also connect with the Healthy Beginning program. If you know someone that is pregnant, that is in that process, pass this information to them, because the only thing, the people need to be pregnant to be part of these Healthy Beginning programs. If you are postpartum, you cannot be in this program. So Tania Boja, thank you for being here with me every month. I love all the information that you bring us. Thank you, Julia, for being here today. And thank you to everybody. Pass the information, share the video with everybody. And I see you at the Stop Community Center if you're pregnant. And see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.